Today, we're diving into the 7 deadly sins. Understanding these sins helps us recognize the obstacles that can stand between us and a closer relationship with God. So let's get started. First up is pride, the excessive self-esteem or arrogance that makes us place ourselves above others and even God. The Bible warns us in Proverbs 16:18, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." This verse reminds us that unchecked pride can lead to our downfall. It's vital to stay humble, recognizing that all our gifts and successes come from God. Next, we have envy, a feeling of resentment towards others' achievements or possessions. Proverbs 14:30 tells us, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." Envy can erode our contentment and make us forget the blessings we already have. When we focus on gratitude, we can overcome this destructive feeling. Wrath, or extreme anger, can lead us down a dark path. James 1:20 says, "For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God." While anger itself isn't a sin, letting it control us can be. Managing our anger and seeking peace reflects God's love and patience. Gluttony is not just about food, but any form of overindulgence. The Bible cautions us in Philippians 3:19, "Their destiny is destruction, their God is their stomach, and their glory is in their shame." Gluttony shows a lack of self-control and an emphasis on physical desires over spiritual needs. Practicing moderation helps us align our lives with God's will. Lust involves uncontrolled desires, often of a sexual nature. Jesus himself said in Matthew 5:28, "But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." This verse highlights that sin isn't just in the actions we take, but also in the thoughts we harbor. To combat lust, we must guard our hearts and minds, striving for purity and redirecting our desires toward God's righteousness. Sloth isn't just laziness, it's the failure to do what needs to be done, especially in our spiritual lives. Proverbs 13:4 says, "A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied." Sloth can keep us from pursuing God's purpose and being productive stewards of His blessings. By committing to diligence and discipline, we stay active in our faith and fulfill our responsibilities. Finally, we have greed, the insatiable desire for more, whether it's money, power, or material possessions. 1 Timothy 6:10 warns, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. Greed can pull us away from God's truth and lead to a life focused on selfish gain. We're reminded to be generous and place our trust in God rather than in material wealth. These 7 deadly sins can take root in our hearts and steer us away from a life aligned with God's will. But the good news is that through awareness, prayer, and seeking God's guidance, we can overcome them. Let's replace pride with humility, envy with gratitude, wrath with peace, gluttony with moderation, lust with purity, sloth with diligence, and greed with generosity. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone in need. Thank you for watching, and remember, through faith, we can overcome anything. Stay blessed, and see you in the next video.